Hello all, this is Zorch, and welcome to another episode of Space Engineers. Here I have something that I have put a lot of work into and I am very happy with. I have made, it's Pong, which has been done, but I'm using Spaceballs for the Pong balls and I've done a lot of work to make it interesting and fun. So I think the best way to start this off is just with a demonstration of the game itself. So you hop in your player cockpit, grab your camera, and start the game. So, because it's random, it's going to start by going off towards that player, which means I scored one already. There we go, blocked it. The paddles are controlled using the left and right keys, A and D. And there we go, score again. This would be much better if I had an assistant to play the game against me, because this is just going to be it bouncing back and forth. And well, that's enough demonstration for now. Let's get into how the game itself works. So the first thing I think I'm going to do is plop down an antenna so you can see all the fields everywhere that make the thing work. And we're gonna hop in there and we're gonna grab that the ball that's causing all the noises. Oh, nope, missed. Nope. Nope. There we go. And we'll put it back in the ball launcher. It's a very crude ball launcher. Okay. Oh. There. Okay, so let us start with... We'll turn on our gravity and sensor ranges. Let's start by looking at the paddles themselves. Let's look at the blue one here, because it's got its gravity field on. So this long rectangular prism here is the gravity field from the paddle gravity generator. And it is what allows you to launch the ball back at the other player. There's also this back gravity field, which acts as a safety net for when the ball gets behind the paddle. At that point you've already lost, so it just shoots it back out front so that you can continue playing the game. The sensor has this red field around it, which extends to the top and bottom, because really the spaces above should not matter. We're trying to play a 2D game in a 3D space. So that's why we're having those problems. But when the ball enters the field, the sensor goes off, which turns off the opposing team's gravity generator, turns on your gravity generator, and turns off the goal sensor field. And then when the ball leaves the field again, it turns the sensor field back on. Turns off the sensor field so that in the case that the ball comes in and smashes the paddle back into the field, a goal doesn't get scored incorrectly. Now I did notice while we were playing that this sensor field, it managed to hit the piston without scoring, which might require a little bit of tweaking, but I'll get to that in the future. Each of the paddles is run by 4 pistons, 2 that extend the full 10 meters, 1 that has a minimum distance and 1 that has a maximum distance, and that allows me to get from this end all the way to the other end and do everything correctly. Now there are lights. I'm actually going to turn on the court lights because they're awesome with this button here. The leftmost button actually resets the score, so we'll go ahead and do that too. Oh, come on, let me in. There we go. So court lights are on, and that is just a script that goes through and cycles through all 8 of the court lights, turning one of them off to add a bit of dynamics. When a goal is scored, entering this back sensor field here, it triggers the scoring mechanism, which I'll get to, and it triggers the lights to flash, and it triggers the alarm sounds. And when you get to 5 points, it also triggers the wind sound, which is objective complete. So I think that's mostly it for here. To achieve this effect with the spotlights, it's actually just a catwalk over a spotlight to make it look cooler. and it doesn't actually affect the lighting. So that's a bonus. Over here, the ball launcher is actually made up of 3 gravity generators. There's one that launches the ball out towards the middle, and one that launches it to either side. And that is actually randomly selected which one fires based on one of the scripts. And I will get to that script in a moment. That's everything that's in there. The button panel, as I said, it resets the score trigger. You can launch the ball from here as well, and you can also start and stop the lights from here. We'll leave the lights running because they're cool. This is just here for a place to get a ball. You can place it down if you're in creative here, or you can actually use a blueprint to build one in survival. This whole thing can actually function in survival. Not that I think anyone will ever go through with that. There's 2 nuclear reactors, just to make sure there's always the right amount of power. And there's a gravity field over here in the programming area. So this is where the large portion of the things get done. These 2 timers, there's another 2 mirrored on the other side, which control the paddle sensor trigger, as well as the goal sensor trigger on either side. So we'll just take a look at this one. When a goal gets scored, it turns off the scoring player's gravity field on their paddle, so that they actually have to accept the coming ball rather than just bouncing off their own gravity field. It turns the scored against player's gravity field on. It starts the scoring mechanism. It starts running the noises for both sides, and it runs a script that starts the flashing of the lights. We've got this trigger here. This one resets everything, so it actually goes through and turns off all of the score lights and all of the scoring timers, because that's the way it works. This one turns off all the gravity generators in the ball launcher. This script here gets a random number and sees whether it is even or odd, and based on that it decides whether it's going to shoot towards the red end or towards the blue end. The rest is just actually making it go. This is my debug panel. It's just a text panel that I've named debug, so in any of my coding I could initialize the debug object and just write text to it, so I actually have a text output so I can see what's going on. This script runs the court lights. This one's actually kind of fun. It works with this timer. The timer is on a 1-second delay, and the timer re-triggers the script. Every time it goes through the script, it gets the current name of the court timer, gets that number at the back, turns off the corresponding court light, and then changes the name of the timer. So the timer is actually storing the information persistently, so it can work. And it goes through all 8 court timers, turns off the specific one, turns every other one on. So that's kind of cool. This script, this one runs the goal lights, and what it does is it just goes through and it flashes the lights by increasing the blink interval of the lights, and then it activates this timer, which runs for I think 5 seconds, and after those 5 seconds it restarts the script, but this time, because the blinking is already going, it knows to turn the blinking off. Am I crouched? No, I'm just extra low to the ground for some reason. Okay, so that's more or less what's going on here. Here's piston access. There's actually welders on both sides to fix the pistons as they are retracted, because there is wobbling and damage. Unfortunately, I didn't demonstrate while it's inside the court, but the court area around the piston entrance is actually reinforced with heavy armor to make it survive. I had lots of troubles with it destroying the wall around itself. So now let's take a look at the scoring mechanism. Each player side has lights on both the top and bottom, and the 2 lights are each attached to each timer that's directly connected to them. The way the timer system works, when a goal is scored, it triggers the first timer. And that timer first tries to trigger the next timer in the row. It turns on its own lights, and then it turns on the next timer in a row. So if it's off, of course the first trigger does nothing, but turning it on makes it so it's on, so next time it will trigger its lights and turn on the next one, which will trigger its lights and turn on the next one, and until you have all 5 scores. And that's how that works. Now to demonstrate the control system here, I'll just hop in the cockpit and we'll take a look at it. There we go. So the cockpit controls the wheels and actually no thrusters at all, and when you hit right, it moves. Oh, there was a bit of a glitch with the piston. Oh, whoa, that was unexpected. Give me a moment to deal with this. So let's demonstrate how the control system works, this time on the blue side, to avoid any, I have no ideas what happened there. So the blue side's exactly the same, it's actually just mirrored, so you can see from the other side. And when you press left, why is it messing with the piston? It's never been messing with the piston before. It's very odd. Okay, anyway, when you press either way, when you press left, it moves the control wheel to the left. When you press right, it moves it to the right. Oh, I must have accidentally launched the ball. It's funny. Okay, and that moves this little small ship here into range of the sensors, which triggers this script. And this script, just to take a look at it, determines based on which sensor was activated, whether it needs to make the all 4 pistons velocity positive or negative, and then it decides that. And when the small ship leaves the sensor range, it activates this timer, which actually just stops all the pistons altogether. That is kind of annoying. Now these sensor ranges can be adjusted. You can make it tighter so there's less of a delay from when you press the button to when the paddle goes, but there will be more of a delay to when the paddle stops, and that's the trade-off. I have mine in the middle, so I get the best of both worlds. I get a little bit of delay on the start, but minimal over movement and freezing up and things like that. Oh, look, Red scored again. Woohoo. Yes, I believe that is most of the features of the ping pong court, or just Pong, as it were. Like I said, I did not have an assistant for this episode to play a game, but I would love to play a game of Pong against someone. If you would like to play me, leave a comment, get in contact with me, we'll play. If you'd just like to play with a friend you have on your own, well then, make a video, put it as a comment, show me what's up. And if you have any recommendations or ideas to improve this, let me know. Barring a full redesign, I'd love to make this even better. So I think we'll just we'll play ourselves out. Where is the ball? I have no idea where the ball is. Oh, there it is.
Objective
there,
complete.
I'm a winner. In any case.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to let me know how you felt, and if you'd like to see more from me, click on any of the links you see here. I hope you have a good one.